Hi, we're back with Chris Horner here at the start of Stage 8. And Chris, first let's just talk about the time trial yesterday. Good day overall for the team. Cadell Evans, about where you expected him to be, and you go from here.
Yeah, exactly where we expected him to be, and then pretty much where we wanted him to be too. At this point in time, you certainly don't want to have the leader's jersey from now anyways. Want to wait till you get later into the mountains and stuff. So he had a good day, showed he's on form, he's ready to lead the team and put us in a good spot for taking the jersey sometime later. So yeah, it was it was a great day for us. So exactly what we wanted.
Okay. How about your top 50? Maybe you hope to go a little bit quicker, but you take it?
Yeah, I'll take it. With everything that's happened for me this week and stuff, it's exactly what I expected. No surprise there. Either went a little bit easy in the first 10K to let everything loosen up, and then went hard to the finish after that. So it was what I expected. Yep.
Okay. Some of the other Americans, some major league implosions out there, especially Levi Leipheimer. He lost 5 minutes to Landis, which is the important number, 6 minutes to Gonchar. Right. How do you explain that?
Right. I don't know. Talking to him, you just have to ask him, what he did in between Dauphiné and here or something, or maybe he's had some bad luck, or maybe he was sick or something. Didn't hear anything about that from him, but if I was sick, I wouldn't have told anyone either. So could be anything like that. Could be he's just no longer on form when you come on form like he did at Dauphiné. So we just have to speak a little bit with Levi there to figure that out. But then you had Floyd Landis having a little bad luck with the bike. I don't think it changed the win, just to cost him some time. You had Bobby Julich, who had a spectacular crash early in the race too. It was so strange. He came 1.5 kilometers into the race. It's a strange time to have a crash at that point in the race too. So a lot of bad stuff happening to Americans yesterday and stuff, but the racing in general was spectacular. If you look right now, you got some of the best racing in the tour you're going to see coming up. A day like today is windy, crosswinds, anything can happen. It's a little bit wet too, so you throw that in, and best guys, you got to take GC from Floyd on back. I mean, Gonchar, possibly, who knows, maybe he is the next Tour de France winner, but I don't believe that to be the case. So I would take everything from from Floyd's time on back, and you're looking at a 2-minute gap between, a lot of top riders here.
Okay. How about today's stage? Kind of a tricky one. A couple bumps in there. Looks like maybe it comes back together for the sprints. If it does, it'll be a lot of work by the Wiedemann Lotto team, I think, to make that happen. But this looks like a day maybe made for a breakaway.
Yeah, we think it's a day made for the breakaway. Certainly, I think the sprinter teams have done a lot of work. They're kind of tired. For us, we have the green jersey. It doesn't really make a difference. If a break gets up the road, it'll just take points away from any of the other sprinters trying to get points from Robbie, assuming it's not Boonen or Thor up in the front group anyways.
Okay. And last question. Tomorrow you get a rest day. I know that's something you're all looking forward to. Maybe just walk us through a little bit what goes on one of these rest days. It starts this evening when you get on an airplane.
Yeah, it's going to be a late evening tonight, though, because we're going to be flying for an hour and a half flight, but then you got an hour at the airport, hour transfers before the airport, hour after the airport, so we're going to be getting in late. So probably sleep in really late, get up, have a very short ride, hour and a half. Some guys might ride 2, but I don't think anyone do more than that. After that, come back, relax, hang out, do something on the computer, probably get a good massage, have a great dinner, and then get in one more flat stage to get ready for the real racing in the Tour this year.
Okay. Hi, we're back at the Tour de France, and today we're joined by Daniel Gillespie. He's a technician with SRM. Daniel, you're here at the CSC bus getting ready to outfit some of their bikes with your equipment, and that in turn will send information back to the TV cameras and also provide information from the riders. Maybe just give us a little more detail of exactly what you're doing here today.
Okay, what I'm doing is I come here for each stage. I set bikes up for different teams. I put SRM system on the bike, records the power output, their cadence, their heart rate, and their speed. And then we can send that data, we can take that data and send it live to TV. And so like Outdoor Life can cover, they get the data live, immediate, and then we also have it on our website. Just a website, you can see all the riders for the entire stage.
Okay. Tell me about the information that's being transmitted back to OLN or the websites.
Okay. More or less, the biggest for us is the power output. So you can see the rider's power output, getting their speed, their cadence, and heart rate. So it's almost like the rider's performance. How hard they're working, how much energy they're burning or using up, and how difficult the stage is. Maybe it's a climb, a sprint, and the changes in demands in the course and the type of riding that they're doing. Maybe the riders are in a break, so you're seeing like a higher output from the guy in the break as opposed to a guy that's just sitting in riding in the field. You can see just different demands of the race.
And also we're getting heart rate?
Yes, and we're getting heart rate too. So you can compare the heart rate and power, and you'll see both of them correlate as the intensity goes up. Both will go up, and then we know an estimate of the rider's max, so then we know how hard the rider's working or how difficult that part of the stage is.
Okay. Did you get that? Let's step in here out of the rain a little bit, and we'll cover that. That max heart rate information, is that stuff that was provided to you before the race started?
Yes. Most of the riders will provide that information, and that way we can kind of set a gauge to where the rider's fitness level, or not fitness level, but where the rider is, to compare the data to that output. And so if the rider's going super hard, if they provide us with that information beforehand, we'll know how difficult that part of the stage is.
Okay. Tell me which teams and riders you're working with.
Okay, right now we're working with CSC, Milram, T-Mobile, a few stages with Discovery, and then we have Gerolsteiner. We have several riders from Gerolsteiner, and then just kind of some riders different days, maybe from Cofidis, and that's.
And riders, specific riders, some of the names that you've had your equipment on so far?
Okay. Well, with CSC we have Van de Velde and Jens Vogt. Okay. And then Zeberg and Lang from Gerolsteiner are doing every stage. So those four are every stage. We have the data. And then with Discovery we had Igor Martinez and Ekimov for a couple stages this week. We'll have them for one stage next week and maybe two stages in the final week.
What are some of the interesting things you've seen coming off the output? I mean, is there somebody who's just putting out a ton of power or not so much power?
Well, we see one is Jens was in a break last week for one stage, and he had his average output for the whole day was close to 300 watts. Okay. I think it was around 285. And then the following day, Igor Martinez was in a break. Okay. So we had 2 days in a row with riders in breaks with the system on, and both days we could see about 5,000 kilojoules, which equate it's a pretty big energy uptake to do that, for that type of stage for 5 hours. So their average power was around 285 to 290 for the day, and then the riders that were in the field were around 190, so 190 watts and maybe 3,500 kilojoules. So you can see the difference in the demands of the race, but it gave us a lot of good information. And then yesterday in the time trial we had Stinkovitz from T-Mobile use it, and he was had a really good time trial, and so we got a lot of good data there to see the average output over the time of a time trial.
So Daniel, tell us exactly, we've got two different attachments that you made here this morning. Tell us about each one of them.
Okay, this is a power control. This is where all the data is sent, and the power meter in the bottom is where the information, where the power is measured in the crank arm.
That's down in the crank arm?
Down in the crank arm, and then it's sent to the power control. The power control, when I set it up, I make sure that we're getting a signal, making sure it's picking up speed. So then we get the speed and cadence. Okay. And then I just attach this so that you're getting the data from the crank to the system. And then once we know that the system's connected, then we connect the power control to the sending unit. Okay. The sending unit is where the actual data is sent through, just like a cell phone. It's a GPRS technology. Okay. And it's just like making a data, sending an email via text. So once it's connected here, we connect it to the sender, and then the sender links to our website, and then all the data is sent through there. And then
go ahead.
And then the networks can pick it up, like if it's a TV or a different website maybe that's showing the data, they just log onto our website and pick up all the information, and then they can show it live.
And is that something that OLN subscribes to? It's a fee thing?
Yeah, it's a live data feed, but it's something that we provide. Yeah, I'm here actually with OLN to make sure that they get all the data. Okay. Go ahead. So for Jens Vogt and Christian Van de Velde, they're actually using the systems for the entire race. Okay. So we mount them before the first stage, and then we leave them on the bikes for the entire, for every stage.
Okay. Some of the other riders, you're taking them on, putting them back up. Some of the other riders, you're taking them off, putting them back on.
Yes. Yeah. Some riders want them just for the flat stages. Some want them for the mountains. And then some of the GC riders, maybe one of those guys is using it. They may not want their information sent, or they don't want the other teams to see how other riding or what's going on with their data. So we may use them for just flat stages, and then they just ride. Maybe they want just a lighter equipment, or their climbing bike. They'll take it off. Okay. It adds about 100 grams to the bike.
Get back to work. Daniel, last question. Each morning, how long does it take you to make the rounds and get all these attached?
I'd say each morning it's probably it's not too bad, about 30 minutes. If the systems are already mounted, everything's set up, Then just to attach the power control and the sender, it's about, I'd say, 5 minutes per bike.
Okay.
And then, with 10 riders, I have another person helping me, so we each do like four bikes each, 4 or 5 bikes. And it takes about 20-30 minutes to get everything set up.
Okay, not bad. I'll let you go ahead and get back to work, and stay tuned for more from the Tour de France.
Cool. Awesome.
All right. Hi, we're here with Christian Henn, Director Sportif of the Gerolsteiner team. Christian, yesterday definitely did not go as well as you'd hoped. I know you get a 3rd place with Sebastian Lang, but Levi Leipheimer losing 6 minutes to Gonchar, and then another 5 minutes more importantly to Landis. What happened yesterday?
I don't know. It was a really bad day, and we spoke after the race also with Levi. I was behind him, and it looks really good, powerful. He had on the 10 kilometer mark, he had nearly the same time like Sebastian Lang, but then after it was really bad for him. But it looks also the last kilometers really strong, and he told me no idea what's happened.
Okay. Christian, we're going to cut this off because I'm going to grab Levi here. I appreciate your time.
Not my level, and I don't really want to make excuses, but sometimes things don't go your way, and I haven't been feeling very good, and but it's something that I'm hoping to get over, and I'm looking forward to the mountains, and I think hopefully I'll feel better and have the chance to attack.
Before the start yesterday, it seemed like you're tinkering with your bike a little bit, playing with the saddle a little bit, warm up. Didn't seem as long as usual. Was it a little hectic for you before the start yesterday?
No, I had ridden on the road before that, so what I did on the trainer was just a couple of efforts to open up, and I had already ridden like an hour and a half before, so it wasn't the warm up, and I'm always tinkering with the time trial bike. I haven't really felt comfortable on it lately, so I'm not. That's definitely not the problem. But like I said, I'm just hoping to recover from it and get better. Fortunately, I have a few days to do that.
You have a few days to do that before we get to the mountains. Now, will you start be allowed to be a little bit more aggressive and maybe take a little bit more chances in the mountains? Are you going to still focus on GC or change your focus towards individual stages?
Well, I think no matter what, if it's GC or stages, I have to be more aggressive. So I think that the thing I have to focus on now is just trying to recover and get back to my normal self and feel good again, and that's not always easy to do in the middle of the Tour de France. So I'm focused on that, and you probably won't see much of me in the next couple of days, which is not a big deal, but I'm hanging in there and hoping for better things.
Why do you think you weren't feeling so good the last couple? Do you think it's just normal Tour de France stages in the heat, or something else?
No, I mean, like I said, I don't want to make excuses, and sometimes things don't go your way, and I mean, it's nothing. It's something that I can recover from, and it's a common problem, and I just don't want to, I don't want to make excuses. So.
All right, thanks.
Yeah.
Have you been a bit nervous, for example?
No.
Yesterday, no?
Levi, as I understand it, at the 10-kilometer mark, you were almost at the same speed as Lang, for example. I mean, is there any idea of what may have kicked in at that point where it slowed you down a little bit, or what happened?
No, I think that's just because he started slow. He was a little bit unsure of himself, and then he kicked it in, and then he blew me away. But no, I was just riding slow yesterday, and that's all there is to it. What counts is the result, and you can see the result. So.
Mm-hmm. And how are you feeling about your chances for the overall?
Well, obviously, yesterday was a big blow, and I'll have to rethink my strategy. But like I said before, I'm focused on recovering and feeling better. And like I said, that's not easy to do, but I'm going to try.
Levi, you said you've been tinkering with the bike a little bit. It seems a little late in the game to be tinkering with the bike. What was going on?
No, well, I've had some issues with things, breaking, and we were just fixing that. And when you have to change a seat post, it takes a while to get the seat back to exactly where it was before. But that wasn't the problem. I felt comfortable on the bike, and I think, my position on the bike was good. So that definitely was not the problem.
Yeah. Any chance you peaked too early? and you were going great at the Dauphiné. You come here and
No, I don't think so. Like I said, it's an issue I've had over the last couple of days, and I'm trying to get over it. It just came at a bad time. So,
you're calling it an issue. Are you sick or
To be specific.
well, I don't want to make excuses. What counts is the result, and I don't like to see headlines because this guy was bad because of that. I mean, the point is I was bad, and it's over with, and I don't want to.
Is it a stomach issue? Or is
I don't want to make a big deal out of it. So.
shocked when Christian came by you? I mean, you guys know each other. You've been racing.
Yeah, well, he's been riding very strong, and I was kind of hoping he would win the time trial, so I wouldn't lose that much time. But he wasn't super fast, so it was a really bad day.
Yeah. And Floyd, I mean, hats off to him. Even with the bike change, he's essentially leader in the clubhouse right now. You got to be pretty impressed with what he did yesterday.
Well, it wasn't a surprise for me. I mean, he was one of my favorites to win, so.
He says don't write you off just yet. I mean,
Well, you never know. Things can change. So hopefully I'll feel better.
It was definitely not the day that George expected. It was not the result that the team expected. But it was a bad day. We have no explanation. George started out very well. He felt great in the morning. He felt great in the warm-up. So did the other guys. And until the first split, it went okay. And then after that, it really went down. So we definitely are not in a position that we hope to be. But on the other hand, a bad day, you have to try to put it behind as soon as you can and look forward to what comes to us and what kind of opportunities we can get. And I think with the result of yesterday, we will actually have a lot of people who have the same interest as us, which means being aggressive, especially in the Pyrenees. And I hope that until then we can get the boys back on track, especially with the strong motivation and be aggressive.
For the first time in a Tour de France, you had to pay attention to not one time trialist, but your 4 GC contenders. How much did that make yesterday different for you?
Well, I mean, I think we start with the fact that Lance is not here, and we just have to be realistic, and that the big favorite of the race, we don't have him in the team. And although we think that we can do a great Tour de France, our chances of winning before the start were very small, and I think after yesterday they are even smaller.
Yeah, that's fine.
I don't know. Tomorrow's a rest day, so hopefully we'll be able to recover. I was disappointed with my performance yesterday. I thought I'd do a lot better, but that wasn't the case.
were you dehydrated? Was there any particular thing you could attribute it to?
Yeah, I mean, I felt definitely dehydrated, or even just ran out of fuel. Maybe I ate too early or something. It's hard to know exactly what happened, but I think that was definitely not normal performance for me.
Discovery, obviously, you guys have a lot of aces in the hole, and for the next few days, I mean, and Johan can kind of play tricks with the other team because you guys have. I mean, how are you guys strategizing for the mountains, for example?
Well, we'll just see how we recover. I mean, obviously yesterday was a bad day for the team, and it's important for us to not lose sight of our goals and our focus. And for me, it's going to be important just to try to recover today and get a good rest day tomorrow, and then hopefully I'll be back to normal for the mountain stages.
All right, here we go. Thanks, George. Thank you.
I think we showed yesterday that the whole team is strong.
Could you describe a rider like Kluge? What's his strength or what's his like?
I think he's a very good all-round. Obviously, his strength is probably in the mountains. I think he's going to be our best possibility of a good performance in Paris. Thanks.
Toi, tu étais en pleine animation dans tes étapes du Nord. Là.
Yesterday I was happy with my time trial. I still had quite a bit of power on through the pedals. So I just got through with not the easiest I could. It still hurt, but like I said, we're just taking it day by day. But there's definite improvement.
On that first day when you had to start again after the crash, I mean, how hard was that day? I mean, you said you'd know very soon, but was it a real barrier for you to get through?
Yeah, I mean, there was a climb after 7k, and I basically said to the team, if I'm still there at the top of the climb, then I'll get through the stage, not a problem. For me, the finish at the stage was at the top of that first climb, and I suffered like a dog, but it really warmed up after that. And I was going around to the other guys going, did that hurt? And they were hurting as well, so it gave me a bit of morale.
So you're a guy who's been through a lot of pain in your career through injuries and stuff. I mean, is this where you sort of really that experience of being able to handle pain is helping you?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people ask, why are you going? What do you, why do you do it? But it's it's a Tour de France. We've been training all year for it. It's the pinnacle event, and I mean, like what happened the other day. I had to ride on the front for a while. At some stage, you're going to be an important aspect of the team, and you can't just, we're not here. It's not just any old bike race. You can't just peel out because you're hurting.
Yeah.
If you can push through it, you continue. And who knows? In a few days' time, maybe I'll be good enough that I can go up the road and get in brakes, and this tour, man, anything's possible.
It's a really bizarre tour. I mean, obviously bad news for CSC with Bobby's exit yesterday, but Carlos is well positioned for overall. I mean, is that what you're focused on, and being to help Carlos as much as possible?
Yeah, I mean, the black cloud's just getting bigger and darker at the moment. I mean, losing Bobby was a real blow. It was one of the key aspects for our team in the mountains, and for his own personal goals. I think he had a real shot at getting in the top 10 in the tour this year. But we're getting really tested at the moment, and this is where we've got to show true teamwork and character and really stick together. And I mean, now we're Carlos has really come out and did an awesome time trial yesterday for a little Spanish climber that certainly wasn't his kind of course, and he really did a great chrono. So just put all that energy into him.
Just two more questions. You said at the beginning of the tour that your experience in tour racing was one of the attributes that you're bringing on this year's tour. Then again, you wouldn't have known all the things that were going to unfold on this tour. Did you have to sort of said anything to the guys in particular about how we can get through this, or?
There's been certain moments where I've had to make a few decisions, I guess. Split-second decisions with if we should ride on the front. I mean, by the time Bjarne and the directors get the information on the radio, sometimes it can be 30 seconds too late. So I've had to make a few decisions, along with the other guys out on the road, and experience definitely does pay in times like that.
And just about your injury, when Robbie had his injury a couple of years ago, I know it's different, but I was talking to Victor, and there is a similarity as far as treatment, and like Victor was saying, you can get through a tour with this type of injury, but it's very painful. Like Robbie was having hours and hours of chiropractic, sometimes up to 2 in the morning and stuff like that. Can you give an idea as to how much? I know you said you've had a lot of chiropractic work, but
basically every morning. I was late to the bus this morning. I'm sure you're already getting in trouble for, but I'd prefer to be a few minutes late than or delayed in the race. Yesterday probably had pretty close to 2 hours, so we had a lot more time. I was finished before lunch yesterday, so we've got some fantastic chiropractors here who really know their business, so basically as much as we can.
I guess today Jens, a good day for Jens to get away, and that may give you a bit of an easier day to saddle as well.
Yeah, hopefully. He took it pretty easy in the chrono.
Yeah. All right, Stewie, thanks, mate. All the best, mate. You got business to attend to?
Yeah.
Just to recap, how do you feel this morning after yesterday's time trial? You recover okay?
Legs a bit sore, to be honest, but I hope everyone's are.
Well, there should be. It was a very hard course. What about, obviously you would have heard last night about Bobby being out with his injury, with his crash. Did you see that at all? Or?
I saw it on TV, and I kept replaying it, but I couldn't watch it. I just don't like watching those. Yeah, it's bad luck, because Bobby and I were teammates a few years ago, and I'd say we'd remain good friends, and I was sort of, I'd like to see him, I was hoping to see him do a good tour here.
What about when you've had a chance to look at the result sheet from yesterday? Was there anything you were able to draw from those results? That sort of, any surprises in there, you thought?
Team Mobile, the team as a whole, went really well. That was a surprise, particularly guys like Sinkovic, Kessler, even Guarini I think was up there pretty good. Kloden, Gonchar, they're not big surprises. Michael, not really big surprises, but they had as a team as a whole, they looked really strong.
I guess it's handy, it gives you an indication of what team could be chasing you down or in pursuit of you later on.
Maybe. We'll see. It depends, I suppose. They have a lot of cards to play now, which makes it a bit hard to follow. So we'll see.
And Cadelphia, just between now and we get to the Pyrenees on Wednesday and Thursday, you just to keep out of trouble and recover?
Just try and stay out of trouble and exactly, stay out of trouble.
All right, mate, good on you. Thanks, mate. Have a good day. We'll do that. See ya.
Quand ça va évacuer tout à l'heure, s'il y a du monde, un peu là.
Well, I was an every breakaway at the start, and then we got caught, and then Dave Zabriskie went to the counter attack, and basically that was that. And then it looked pretty good for a while. They had 7 minutes. We looked, it looks pretty promising for the stage. Even David gets close to the jersey maybe.
Yeah.
And then hang on, I think they need to move over there a little bit.
Okay.
And then this. Fona kept it on a distance, but he didn't really want to chase it back. And then FDJ decided to chase for Eisel, and they couldn't bring it back. And then the group exploded in the front, and I think Katsati was obviously by far the strongest because he just dropped them and left them there, and nobody could bring him back. So I think he really deserved that win today because he was, I guess, by far the strongest.
How are you guys feeling going into the rest day? I mean, are you guys ready to have a rest, or how are you feeling generally?
No, I think the rest days are well planned. Now we are 8 days into the race, have done, I guess, something like 1,500 kilometers. So I guess it's a well-deserved, it's a well-placed rest day, and we're looking forward to that.
And you're thinking about Carlos for the mountains? What's the strategy going into the Pyrenees?
Well, the first thing that becomes the victim of the race is always the race plan. So, no, but that's true. You also need to have the legs to actually come up, to the plan. And of course, we hope that Carlos might do well in the mountains in the Pyrenees. And then, we see after. It's still that we take it more or less day by day. Yesterday we had 2 options with Bobby and David. Bobby crashed, so sometimes it's quite tough, and so we just need to get ourselves together and hope that Carlos can pull out something big for the mountains.
Dus ik dacht, ruimschoots binnen tijd, nu ga ik uitbollen. En zelfs de laatste 3 kilometer begon ik met mijn warming down. Ik moest direct naar het podium, dus ik wilde een beetje de melkzuur uit mijn benen krijgen. Dus dat was dan een trainingsritje.
Ruby? Just gonna get doing a general survey of, besides the obvious resting.
I guess we get up early, like I normally do, about 8, I guess. Have breakfast, and then I guess we go for about a 2 or 3 hour ride. Take it easy, and the rest of the day, I guess we can hopefully reading the newspaper or doing something stupid on my bed. Yeah, nothing special.
How about today's stage? You kind of expected a break to go today, huh?
Yeah, I think everybody, it's the end of the first section of the tour. All the sprinters teams have been working, the whole of the first week. So I was expecting actually yesterday, or just the day before as well, a break to go. The guys worked again, so it was pretty obvious that the guys, were going to be tired today. So it was kind of obvious that something would get to the finish sooner or later. I think today was the best day.
Last one, I know somebody else has the yellow jersey right now, but on paper with the GC contenders, your team leader's in a really good position. What's the sort of the mood of the team, knowing that you guys are probably going to be defending yellow before too long?
It's always good. I mean, we were hoping to have yellow yesterday, but Floyd's right up there. He's definitely one of the best climbers that there is at the moment. So, we're hoping we can get yellow, like you say, sooner or later. And, being also good in the time trial, it's probably going to work out. We're hoping it's going to work out to be a really good situation in the final time trial for us. But the team morale is really good, and all the guys are riding good, so we can only be happy the way it is right now.
Floyd, your team had to do a lot of work today. Did you guys talk about this in your morning meeting?
Yeah, we didn't know what T-Mobile's plan would be, but we didn't really do that much work. It was a hard stage to ride regardless. I think it's probably harder in the back than in the front, so I don't think it was any big loss. We didn't spend a whole lot.
Are you taking this race right now as riding it in the control of that, like you already have the yellow jersey?
Not necessarily, no, but we have to be careful what T-Mobile does. We don't need to give them any more options, so rather keep it at that. We're confident, and so I don't think we're trying to hide anything.
Plans for the rest day? How long will you ride, and any other plans?
I'll ride for a few hours in the morning, and then hopefully I'll get a nap.
Thanks.
See you guys.
All right.